Well, hello, my friends. I am just popping in really quick to answer a question that I get all the time. And the question is, how do I find my inspiration? Where do I get my inspiration? How do I come up with ideas for doing weekly videos and creating art and all that kind of stuff? So I thought I would show you my process and a couple of things that maybe might help you. In the past, so I just got this new journal, and I want to talk about that just a little bit because it is awesome. But typically what I do for my inspiration is this is what I used to use, and it's kind of a disaster because it ends up with a little bit of everything, and it's kind of all over the place. But what I do to get my inspiration and to get my ideas is I write down everything. I write down my quotes. I tear out quotes all the time, that kind of thing. I tear out things from magazines, and I have tons of just pages filled with ideas that I always go back to. So as I'm going into this new year, I'm trying to get more organized. So I have a journal for my business, and then I have journal for my creative process, and I wanted to get more organized than this chaos. I mean, it's just because then I'd have an idea and I'm like, where is it? I know it's in here, and I mean, I have random things, but everything in here is at some point inspired me, so I write it down or I put it in here. So what I've done is I've gotten a new journal for my creativeness process. That's not even a word. So this is a Clever Fox journal, and I positively love it. And I thought, if I like it, maybe you'll like it too. I don't know. But as I was in the process of searching for a journal to get me more organized, and Clever Fox actually contacted me and said, hey, would you like a journal? And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, I would. So I just thought I would share this journal with you in case it works for you. You know, if it doesn't, that's fine. I'm not getting paid for this or anything like that. So I just thought maybe this would help you because I get this question asked all the time. So this journal is like right up my alley. So over here it's got my gratitude and self-awareness, and this right here is the place where inspiration starts. No joke, because gratitude is where every single part of my creative process comes from, is these spaces right here. So this is gratitude and self-awareness. We're not sometimes very self-aware, but so I write down, and I haven't filled it in because this is new to I'm only in it a month, and I've got a whole year to go or so, however long it takes me to fill this up. So I'm going to be adding to my gratitude and all of those kinds of things, and the things that I become self-aware of or need to work on or whatever. My daily rituals, what is important to me, and taking care of ourselves and our souls and all of those kinds of things plays a part in our creative process. This one says, what am I passionate about? What brings me joy in my life? I'm like, this was made for me. So I wrote down a date here and what I'm passionate about, and then I'll continue to write down different things throughout the year and probably expand on it and add sticky notes over here, because this is where it all starts. And then my affirmations, you guys, so important. So I'm creative, I'm worthy, I'm all of those things, those affirmations that we need to hear, because when we've got that going on inside, that creativeness happens faster, easier, that kind of thing. So that's the first page. And then, my vision board. I mean, my goodness, this couldn't be it's just like this was made for me. So I've just begun to fill this because it's a new year. Well, kind of a new year. It's not January 1st, but I always usually start my journals and things ahead of time to kind of get the ball rolling so that I'm not starting on January 1st. So then I will just add this up to things that I like, my colors and things that I really love and all that kind of stuff. It's just awesome. So, and then my goals, and then my focus, like if for me, so I want to focus on neutrals, and workshop ideas for me, my art journal ideas. I can write all of that down here so that sometimes when you're in the creative process and you're like, I have no ideas, you can go back and get, and I did that here, but it would get lost in the process. So I'm just, and then over here, blank space, which for doodling, drawing, anything that could go with any of these, I mean, just, I don't have all that filled out. And then, so you've got month, and so I put these little tabs on. So you've got the month, and then you've got the daily, and then I just wrote out sketch it. That's because this is the magic over here. So for me, this is what I do, and this is what I've always done, and that's why this works so well for me. So I write out, so like whenever I don't know when you're going to see this, but during Christmas week I was doing all of these different projects, and so I wrote all them out, and I wrote down different things about the project, and I started writing my quotes for what would inspire me. And then I made it through the week. And then, so now this is November, and so this was, that one is the tag project, and this is the next Sunday inspiration. So these are all my Sunday inspirations planned out. Okay, so my actual process is I read and absorb all kinds of positive everything, self-help books. I have tons and tons of quote books. I mean, everything. Just this is a journal for self-exploration. I have lots of authors that I positively love and continue to go back to and reread and read and read and read. So I'm constantly reading and filling myself with that. And then as I'm reading, I find quotes for that specific time that I'm in, or something about it lights me up. So then what I do is I write it down here. I write the quote down. And then I'm kind of thinking about maybe the story that it could play in my art, what it might look like. So then I start planning out and you don't have to be as planned out as this. I do this because this is what I do. And then, so once I have it planned out, once I have a quote, I can kind of get an idea. I like the quote, it inspires me. I can kind of maybe see some color. I put my colors down. So this next project, I can't tell you because you're going to see it soon, is going to be awesome. So I put down some colors that to me represents the quote. And then I wrote out a little bit more about the quote. And then I'll do that for each quote that kind of inspires me. And I'll continue to write quotes. I wrote a quote in here that total is like yes, and I can kind of picture what I can do for that. So then I come over to my sketch it part. And this is where all the ideas kind of come together. And I can kind of pull things. So for example, for this date here, Be Your True Self. That's the title of the piece. I wrote out more information about that quote and what it means to me. Like, what is my true self? And I'm writing out details about that. And then from that, like, I start thinking, okay, what is my true self with art? And I start pulling things that help me convey that story, and all that goes into that quote. And so then I will use that as my inspiration. It won't end up looking anything like this, but I use this as my inspiration because I know I want to use elements of maybe this type of stencil or this type of flower or these colors. And I'm going to go back to my color chart here. All those kinds of things. So I really do try to pull my inspiration from quotes and from everything. And so back here I have, so this is December 1st blog or piece. This, can't wait for that. That is the 17th, and on and on and on. And I just begin to write details about what I'm conveying for this piece. Now, where do I pull my, and I'll continually pull. So these don't have a specific blog post or quote or anything, but I continue to pull things from everywhere. From when I'm going through and pulling out papers, I might see something and I'm like, oh, I positively love that, and the color is different. So I'll pull that out. Or maybe, so like this is from a magazine, I will go through and just pull out, see, like the table color. Love that color. I love the green and the pink together. So all of these things that I find, like the pattern, so I like immediately I would cut that out, or I don't even cut it. I just tear it, and I grab my glue stick and I just stick it in my, and that's what I did with my old book. Just random bits of things. The two colors together, that kind of thing. That way, when I find a quote and I'm looking for, okay, now, so what now? I think, does this work with the quote? Does it go with the story? Does this color? Maybe not. And so I continue to gather my goodies for each project or for future projects. And so this has tons and tons of empty pages in the back, and I love it. So you can see here I planned out specifically what I was going to be doing for 2 projects. I knew right away. I didn't have to even pull anything for it. And then it also has daily. So let's see, this is the daily, and the daily I love because I can write what I'm feeling for the day, for that quote, for whatever. So you've got month, and you don't have to be this detailed. I'm just showing you. I thought, I love this. Maybe you would love it. It might help you in your art journey. So this is my month. This is my day, and so I can write out for the week how I'm feeling. Maybe this one right here is not how I'm feeling, and I need to scrap it. And I'm going to just paint what I feel. That happens over here in the daily, because sometimes things just don't go the way you planned. That's just life, right? And then this is my further ideas station and developing my ideas. So like for this one is in the beginning stages of its development. This one, obviously, I have pretty clear. I know what this is going to be for this one. And so all of that, this is color inspiration, and all of this will eventually make its way into a piece. I'll find the right quote and I'll be like, yep, that's it. I know it. It's right there. It's the colors. It feels right. It feels good. And I want to say this, that when people are like, how do you know if it feels good? It feels good when you've done some of the first work here, all this. When you're in touch with this, you know when it feels good, you know. And then when you're doing this, when you're writing what you're grateful for, what words are inspiring you, it's a presence of mind. And then when you see something and you've been writing about something, you're like, ah, that's it. That's how I do my inspiration every single time. Maybe 99% of the time, and then that 1% is just randomness, but most every single time I have some type of spark of something along with the quote. And I will say this too. Sometimes the quote doesn't make it into the piece. So sometimes I have 2 quotes here for this one. And I'm still not sure exactly which one I'll use because I have to wait and see which one is going to be the best with how it goes. And so not every quote makes it into a piece, but the quote and the words and those kinds of things help inspire the color, the direction, all of the things. I hope that wasn't too confusing for you. So anyway, I just wanted to share with you my process because I'm not kidding. Every single day somebody asks me, how do you get your ideas? I plan it. I mean, not like I'm going to have an idea today, but I fill myself with good things first and foremost. I do the work on my gratitude because it prepares me. It makes me awake. It makes me present to see the beauty, to see the color, to see the things that I want to create. It helps me do that. And then I go to work at kind of just pulling things out from everywhere and getting my ideas, and then it's fairly simple after that. So I hope that helps with your creative process. I can't recommend this journal enough. It is awesome. And so I will have a link below. Oh, I don't think I even showed you all of it. I'm so excited. It's got pockets back here, that kind of thing. So you can check it out on their website. Again, this is just me trying to maybe offer some help to you for your creative process and inspiration, and I hope it helps. And I will see you on Sunday.